Shalom lekulam. Welcome back to Davening with Meaning. We are in our third class, and today we're going to talk about a very interesting and unique bracha. The bracha is Asher Yatzar. Birkat Asher Yatzar is a bracha that we say after going to the bathroom, after we go and relieve ourselves. When we leave the bathroom, after we wash our hands, soap and water, very important. There's a very unique bracha. Now, in order to understand this bracha, because it's a little confusing, it's a bracha that theoretically is very strange, right? We're saying a bracha, we're saying a blessing after going to the bathroom. I'll start out with a story. Back when I was in my basic training, I had to do shmirah, I had to do guarding it was on Friday night from 2 o'clock until 6 o'clock in the morning, which is probably the worst shmirah that you could get because it's also Shabbat. You can't bring your phone. You're not allowed to bring your phone anyways to shmirah. And it's also dark, and it's also in the middle. Shabbos is a time that we want to relax, we want to enjoy, and it really ruins your night. But I was put there with another soldier, and it was out in the desert. You're basically guarding nothing. You can't even really see anything. It's all dark. So that's just to set the scene. We get up to this mountain where we're going to do the shmirah. The soldier looks at me, and we have now 4 hours together. He looks at me and says, "I want you to know something." I'm like, yeah. I hate religious people. That's a good way to start 4 hours with this guy in the pitch dark, right? So he says, "I hate religious people." I said, "Wow, why? What could possibly? Why would you hate religious people?" He said, "There was once a religious person that made up something and kind of made fun of him, and ever since then, every single religious person that he meets always go along with this thing that they made up." And I said, "Wow, that sounds terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. What did he tell you?" He said that there's a blessing for making in the bathroom. I said, "There is." He said, "You see, you're exactly the same. You're like all the other religious people. You're lying and you're." I said, "No, there really is." I took out my sitter and I showed him this bracha of Asher Yatzar. And then he looked at me and said, "Up until now, I thought that the religious people were making fun of me. Now I just think you're all crazy." And the question is this a crazy bracha? And from the first glance, it might seem strange. But the truth is, there's so much beauty in this bracha. The beauty is that lehavdil from other religions out there, other thoughts, Hashem is relevant to everything in this world. He's not only relevant to a beautiful shul, to the kotel, to Bet HaMikdash, or to the Torah, to rabbis. Hakadosh Baruch Hu and the Torah, the mitzvot, are relevant to every single aspect of life. From Kodesh HaKodashim, the Holy of Holies in Bet HaMikdash, until even the bathroom, right? So I want us to dive in to try to understand what this bracha says. It starts out like this. Baruch Ata Hashem, Elokeinu melech haolam, אשר יצר את האדם בחוכמה, וברא בו נקבים נקבים, חלולים חלולים, גלוי וידוע לפני כיסא כבודיך, שאם ייפתח אחד מהם, או יסתם אחד מהם, אי אפשר להתקיים ולעמוד לפניך אפילו שעה אחת. ברוך אתה השם, רופא כל בשר ומפליא לעשות. Let's try to understand the pshat, the regular understanding of this bracha. Hashem created us in a genius type of way. We have a lot of holes throughout our body. We have a lot of, all our insides, everything, the way our body works is so amazing. It's so amazing that even if something goes wrong, we could be either in severe pain or chas v'chelila, we could also die, right? Lo aleinu, if you go to the hospital, you see people that are really suffering, then we realize how important having a healthy body is, the fact that we're healthy, we're able to go to the bathroom, we're able to eat and drink it, we're able to live a healthy life. That's really, truly a blessing. So that's on the pshat, right? To understand that we couldn't even exist in this world 1 hour if our body wouldn't work the way it's supposed to. But the last 2 words is something that we should really try to understand. Umafli la'asot. Mafli comes from the word pele, wonder. There's something wonderful here. And I want to try to understand, what are they talking about? Chazal say something really, really chazak about this bracha. They say, if we look at the story of creation, Hashem creates Adam from 2 elements. He brings the chomer, right? He brings the material from the ground, from the Adama. Adama, that's why we call him Adam, from the ground. And he blows into him nishmat chayim. He blows a neshama, a soul, into him. And then we, humans, Bnei Adam, were created from chomer, from materialism, from material, and from spirituality, from a neshama. And that's the beauty. That's the wonder. What's the wonder? The wonder is, imagine you have a bottle. And if you have a cap to the bottle and you squeeze the bottle, so there might be pressure of air inside the bottle, right? There's more pressure. However, the air is not going to escape. But if you take off the pkak, if you take off the cap, and you press the bottle, the air is going to escape. The wonder of the human body is that we have nekavim, chalulim, chalulim. We have all these holes throughout our body, but our neshama and neshima, our soul and our breath, right? It's staying within us. It's not escaping. Theoretically, every time I exhale, my neshama should leave, and my body should stay without a neshama. I should die. But Hashem is keeping the neshama alive within us. Ad me'aveh eslim. Until that day that Hashem decides, okay, now I am going to separate the two, our neshama is within us. And that is the wonder. There's a scene from Peter Pan. I don't know if you ever read the book, saw the movie. One of the first scenes of the book and the movie is that he's in Wendy's room looking for his shadow. And he's trying to sew his shadow back to his body because his shadow escaped. Now, obviously, that can't happen. But try to imagine our body without our soul is nothing. It's death, and that's the wonder. Even though the soul could escape in so many different ways and directions, Hakadosh Baruch Hu is actively keeping our soul in us, and that is the great wonder. So next time you go to the bathroom and afterwards you wash your hands, soap and water, and you make this bracha, you have to remember that there's a few things happening in this bracha. One is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created our body in a perfect way, an amazing way, that we're able to separate from what's crucial that we need to keep in our body and what we could let go of, right? And Bezrat Hashem, we should all have that capability in a very easy way without any hospitals or different medication and stuff like that. And also that our creation, the fact that we are linked together, our body and our soul, that is a wonder. That is a wonderful thing. The chomer, the material, and the spiritual could live together. That's amazing. Ad kedei kach, that the Rambam says that if you have a healthy body, you're going to have a healthy soul, and vice versa. If you have a healthy soul, it will also help your body to be healthy. Meaning, imagine someone that stops eating and drinking for 3 or 4 days. What is his soul going to do? His spiritual soul. It's going to tell the material body, that's it. Sei gesund. I had enough. I have to leave now. Because we can't live together. If you don't take care of your material aspect, your spiritual aspect also leaves. And if you don't take care of your spiritual aspect, then your body, your materialistic aspect, is also going to get hurt. Meaning, imagine someone is in a real deep depression. Maybe because things happen. Maybe it's just it's internal. Imagine someone hears, God forbid, a terrible news. He could cry, which is like a physical type of reaction. He could pass out. He could throw up, and God forbid, he could have a heart attack and die. Right? Because we're so linked together. If we zoom out from the human body, we see also Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael, we're linked chomer and ruach. We have a Bet HaMikdash. That's a physical place, but we're bringing into it spirituality. We're bringing HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Shechina, into Bet HaMikdash. We're able to make our life that is spiritual, that is connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is the wonder of this world. That is the mafli la'asot, that our materialistic aspects are linked with our spiritualistic aspects. Have a wonderful day.